Okay, we're going to look at how to find slope. And slope is the how steep that line is. And we've talked about this before. We know that in the very beginning of this unit, when we were looking at Alana and Leanne and Gilberto's walking rates, that the greater the increase, the steeper the line, because as x went up by increased by 1, the y increased much faster. If I'm increasing, as x is increasing by 1, y is increasing by 1, I'm not going up near as fast as if the when the x increases by 1, the y increases by 2 or 2.5. I'm moving that line up much quicker, and so the slope is much steeper. And you know that steepness, I mean, if you've climbed a hill or a mountain or biked up, a hill on a road, it is steepness makes a big difference. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to find the slope. I do want you to notice on this, and this is the beginning of 4.2. This is in your book. I took it out because I want to make sure that we're going over this well. Notice that this is a line with a positive slope. The line is going up. This is a line with a negative slope. This line is going down. That's going to make a big difference when you figure out the slope. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this table. This table is the points. They've taken 2 points and put them in the table from this positive slope line. Okay, so the slope, I find the slope by finding whatever the change in y is over whatever the change in x is. So for the y change, okay, y over x, I'm going to do 4 minus 2. And for the x change, I'm going to do 5 minus 3. 2. Okay, so notice that I'm subtracting. I know that the x is going up 3 and the y is going up 2. So this slope is 2 over 3. Okay, that means that for every time x goes up by 1, y is going to go up by 2/3. Okay, so you can see this is, and I subtracted the y over the x. And so the slope is 2 over 3. In the line with the negative slope, okay, I have y over x, and I'm doing 2 minus 4, right, because I went to 2. And then what does it take to go from 4 to 1? Okay, and so that's going to be negative 2 over 3. So that slope is negative 2/3. Right? That means that as x increases by 1, y decreases by 2/3. So notice that if I have a negative sign, if the slope has a negative sign, the line is going down. If the slope is positive, the line is going up. So I'm looking for the signs there. So that's pretty straightforward. You just take 2 points and you figure out, I have this and this. This is the slope, this and this. You're like making a triangle, okay? What is that? And then I'm subtracting that. And I'm making sure that my points are on vertexes so I can see exactly what the points are. So that is how you would get it from a graph and a table. The last thing they have here is they have a data table. And so I want to look at this because I also want to write the equation So we can see what this is. Okay, so the change in y is what? Every change in y is 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. Okay, so my change in y is 3 plus 3. And so my change in x is 1, 1, 1 over 1. So, so that slope, the slope, is equal to 3. Now, if I was going to make an equation, if I was going to write an equation, my equation would be this. And the form, the typical form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And we've been working with these, the y-intercept, we've been talking about that. That is the number you add or subtract in an equation, and it's also where, at what point on the y-axis that line crosses or intersects. Okay, so we know what the slope is, so we're going to have y equals x plus. Okay, the slope is always the coefficient. Okay, because as I increase this by 1, the y is going to get 3 times bigger because I'm multiplying that x by y. Now, in this case, let's see if we have a y-intercept. So the y-intercept is going to be the y value when x is 0. X doesn't go anywhere, it's 0. The point goes up or down on the y-axis. So in this case, that would be right here. Okay, so that y-intercept is plus 3. So, and that would be my equation. So let's just look. So the number I'm multiplying times the variable is the slope, and the y-intercept is 3. And that will help me, I can use that equation to create points to graph that equation. Okay, good deal.